Probably the greatest worry parents experience in younger children, preschoolers, is the concern that when they enter school, they may have trouble learning, acquiring knowledge of reading, math, or spelling, or for that matter, even handwriting. It's the most common question I'm asked. And sometimes parents expect their child to do well in school because they perhaps spoke early or are well coordinated, only to find their child is struggling. Well, let me tell you what we know about how children acquire early knowledge and how you as a parent in a child under 5 can begin to examine whether your child may be at risk as they enter school. I look at 5 important phenomena. The first 2 go together: label and association. As children acquire knowledge, they learn labels for things, names of objects, letters, colors, shapes. It's always humorous to watch a young child having mastered color names, but not yet appreciating that a specific name goes with a certain color. And you point out the color red, and the child gleefully tells you blue. And you show them green, and they happily tell you black. And they're not colorblind. They simply haven't appreciated that certain labels must go with certain objects, or for that matter, certain colors. So that's label and association. It's the earliest ability you can observe in young children as they acquire vocabulary and knowledge of which labels go with which objects in the environment. And when you do that, you no longer need to point to have your needs met. You can use a word to describe the object or thing you desire. The third area is retrieval. Some children are magicians. They learn labels and associations, but quickly forget them and have to learn again and again before they can retrieve them successfully. So that's number 3, retrieval. Number 4, sequencing. Sequencing is a key component in learning to read, to spell, to write, even to perform mathematics. Information has to be ordered in sequence. It's easy to tell if your child's having trouble with sequencing because as you begin to teach them to count or recite the alphabet in order, they struggle. These are non-meaningful sources of information. There isn't any logical reason why the letter B goes in front of the letter C. These children have trouble remembering their phone number or their address because there's no logical way of remembering the information. In contrast, if I ask a child to repeat the sentence, "The dog bit the boy on the corner," that sentence has meaning. It helps the child remember. If I ask the child to remember this sentence, "The red greened to the blue with a purple," and they can't repeat it, that's sequencing. No meaning in recalling what I'm telling you, just sequential memory. In fact, it's one of the most effective ways of identifying early childhood potential reading problems is to ask children to recall increasingly longer sequences of sentences. And the 5th area is a little difficult sometimes for people to understand. It's orthography or orthographics. Orthography refers to the visual aspects of language and numbers, remembering how to form letters, remembering which way a number faces or a letter faces. Sometimes we refer to children who struggle with that as experiencing dyslexia. So if you're concerned about your 3, 4, or even 5-year-old child's readiness for school, examine their abilities. Examine how well they can label and associate, how well they retrieve that information, how well they can sequence, or for that matter, their early emerging orthography. When children struggle with these 5 areas of ability, they're more than likely going to struggle in school without additional support. The good news here is that with support, nearly every child can learn to read and succeed in school. This is Dr. Sam Goldstein for Common Sense Science.